Parapsychology Today, a program of investigation into the realms of the unknown. Suspend your mind for a moment and journey to a world beyond the five senses. Parapsychology Today is a program exploring ideas, theories, and concepts that have been around since ancient times. We'll journey to outer worlds and inner worlds. We'll look into such phenomena as past lives, UFOs, and hauntings. And we'll explore psychic ability as it relates to human potential. We do not intend to prove or persuade, but rather present theories and personal stories of ventures into the world of parapsychology. Whatever your beliefs, we hope this program will start you thinking about a reality beyond the five senses.
Hi, welcome to our show, Parapsychology Today. I'm your host, Pauline Nortness, and the topic today is very interesting. It's what our energy fields can do for us. Now, my guest is Cynthia Sue Larson, and Cynthia she's gonna answer this question pretty soon. Cynthia, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, before we get started, I'd like to establish your credentials so people know that I'm talking to somebody who has a brain.
Yes.
More than a brain.
Oh, of course.
You've got more than a brain. So tell us a little bit about who you are and your background.
Right. Well, I'm the author of a lot of different books, including one that we'll be talking about today, Aura Advantage, how the colors in your aura can help you attain your desires and attract success. So
Nice.
That's a good one. Yes. And then I studied physics at UC Berkeley. So I've got a degree in physics from there, and then continued on to get a master's in business administration degree. Worked in the corporate world for Citibank in the financial services as a manager. So lots of real life experience working with people, hiring people, looking at their auras, looking at their energy. And I've had Kundalini awakening experience, which is an energy experience. We could maybe talk a little bit about that today if people
How'd
are
that
interested.
happen?
That happened when I was 32. I just felt like I was missing something. It felt like I was living in the black and white version of The Wizard of Oz before Dorothy, lands in Oz.
What a great analogy. I can picture that. I'm visual. I can picture that. Yes.
Yeah. And so ever since the Kundalini awakening, I have really felt like I'm much more open to direct experience of things that maybe I did have when I was a child, but it had been maybe cut off a bit for a while.
Yeah, that's fascinating. We have to establish first is that everything is energy, because people just think everything's solid, they 3D, but everything is actually vibrating in energy. Isn't that correct?
That's true. There's nothing absolutely solid, and that was a shock to the quantum physicists that were looking for. They wanted building blocks of matter. So back around the turn of the century, around 1900, people like Max Planck were looking for, what is the tiniest, smallest thing inside of a molecule? Well, that would be an atom. What's the smallest thing inside an atom? It's like, well, then they found out, it's got an electron. This is zipping around, and then it's got a nucleus and so forth, protons and neutrons. Then they found subatomic particles. Anyway, it got kind of bad for the sense of the building block theory, because what you're noticing as you go into these atoms it's like they're mostly empty space. It's not very much matter there. So the matter isn't really solid like we think it is. And it gets much, much worse as you get into the quantum physics. Things start moving around in different ways, and the observer has an effect. It seems like the assumptions that we had of objectivity are gone. Instead, subjectivity seems to be the way nature works. So it's much stranger, but I think more fun, the way the natural world really works.
Now, I don't really understand quantum physics, but from what I do understand is that things are either a wave or a particle, and it depends on how you observe them. If you're observing it, it changes, right?
Right.
That blows my mind.
You're referencing something called the double slit experiment there, and it's the most elegant experiment in all of science. It just involves a very simple apparatus, just a photon emitter, which is a quantum particle going through two slits and then hitting a screen. And you're exactly right. If the detection device is in one of the slits, then the photon acts like a particle, like you're throwing paint gun splat onto the back screen. However, if you don't put any detection device in one of the two screens and you only look at this, one of the two slits, and you only look at the screen, well, suddenly each individual photon acts like it's interfering with itself, and it creates what ends up looking like a diffraction pattern on the screen, as if you've thrown two pebbles in a pond and you've got waves that are constructively and destructively interfering with each other. So, yes.
Now, we talked about everything being energy, so you said you see auras. Have you always seen auras? And can you explain what an aura is? And we all have them, right?
Yes. When I was quite young, I remember seeing, like when I was lying in my crib, quite young, I'd be just waiting alone in a room. I was a baby, obviously, and I'd hear a bang, and there'd be like a shockwave I'd see the energy coming in the room, sometimes before the sound. There'd be like a wave of energy, and I'm not talking about wind. I'm talking colors, like sharp colors coming through, and then a bam, which was the door closing outside of the room that I'm in. And I was pre-verbal, but I remember seeing that. I remember seeing my mother and father coming in and the glow around them, the glow around my grandparents. So it was just something I grew up with and was aware of right from the start. However, I also came to find out as I grew up through the years that these are not things we talk about, apparently. Not that it's a terrible thing to talk about. It's just that if you happen to see some dark scuttly thing or some dark colors on person, that's not good to talk about. If I mentioned it to adults, they would not confirm anything, and they would not want to continue the conversation either. So I didn't grow up in a household where that was discussed. But I think our culture is not really conducive to people talking about those things, typically.
Now, you must be an old soul because you've developed all this stuff. I'm interested in it, but I don't have all those abilities you have. That's amazing. Now, you wrote a book called Aura Advantage. So what our energy fields can do for us. So that's in your book. So tell us a little about your book and what you're explaining to people.
Right. Well, the book is really cool in the sense that some books about auras just interpret the colors, and that's fun, and of course that's useful, and I do have a section in the book for that. But I also have sections for color therapy, so you can work with color for your health, for your well-being. Just like if you want energy, you can bring certain colors into you can wear certain colors to boost your health. Colors like pink and red. Pink is very rejuvenating. So if you'd like to have a reverse aging effect, pink is quite good.
Well, I'm going to go out and get a bunch of pink.
But each color can have a very, very healing effect in a different way. And then our own colors that we're radiating, we're in a constant conversation with each other and the world through the energy that even if you can't see it, you might be able to feel it. You'll probably be able to feel the energy of someone coming up behind you, for example. Some people, even if you sneak up on them, you can't really surprise them because they can feel you energetically when you're in their energy field. And we've often felt this when someone's in our space. It's like, oh, you're too close, or you just don't like that energy to be that close. It doesn't feel right. So these are ways that we might be responding to it. But the energy field itself does a lot of things for us. So we can work with it, like I said, to define your personal space. Most people aren't aware that you can set some perimeters with your energy field and work with that directly, because the aura is quite interactive with our consciousness and with our intention. So it's giving us an opportunity to start exerting influence in the rest of the world and for ourselves, to keep ourselves healthy, happy, and actually relating non-verbally with our pets, with our houseplants, with the nature all around us, and those that we care about, even before they say anything. We can start becoming able to tell what's happening.
There's a photographer, Carillion, or
yes.
Photography. Yes, I did an interview one time, and I had my picture taken. I had a lot of green and blue. And those are healing colors, I think. I'm not a healer,
yes.
but I like the healing energies. So I'm wearing green too.
Perfect. Yeah, green is a good color. So is blue. They're all good colors.
Yeah.
Those colors are very good for balance. People who have a lot of green in their energy field are often quite easy for people to talk to. Blue also. So it's a good thing. It's perfect that you have that green and that blue, because then it's great to be an interviewer. You're going to put people at ease instantly. Whereas if you had some other color predominantly, it might be more challenging for most of your guests. So it's perfect.
I'm not going to mention names, but I was working at a TV station one time, and we were interviewing this guy. He comes in, and the guy that was going to interview him, he said, "Oh, he's got dark energy," or his aura was gray or something like that. I like the guy I worked with, but he said he's great. Can you change it? I mean, some people do have darker energies, don't they?
They do. And so when people go to a healer, like a Reiki healer, an energy healer, or a shaman for healing, and sometimes that's the first thing the healer's noticing is, wow, they've got a real imbalance in their energy field. It might be from the left to the right side, from top to bottom, and the whole thing might just be dark, or there might be blotches. Usually that shows up in advance before a physical ailment occurs. So the energetic imprint, the subtle energy, usually is reflective first of the imbalance before it starts taking effect within the body.
And the chakras have different colors too.
Yes.
Each chakra has a different color. And is it good to meditate on those different colors to make them bigger and better and healthier?
Yeah, any kind of meditation, as long as you're feeling like it's a good one for you, it could be quite helpful for attaining deeper calmness and internal balance. So especially if you're able to focus on the energy centers in the body. So we look at major 7 chakras. So there's one on the top of the head, the crown, the 7th chakra. The third eye, Anya chakra, is in the center of the forehead, is where we identify it to be. The throat would be the 5th. The heart center is the 4th. Solar plexus is 3rd. Right below that is the sacral, or the hara, or the dantian, the 2nd chakra. Then the root chakra is at the base of the spine, and that's the fight or flight or freeze. So I think the elevated spiritual approach would be, you don't have to fight, you don't have to run. You can actually be still and observe, and you can write. So all of the chakras have a great deal of wisdom possible for them, where you can elevate the awareness of each chakra beyond what might seem like the limitation or the possible issues. So each of the chakra meditations, if you want to do them, can help you to relax, to become more comfortable in your own skin and your own energy, to forgive yourself and others, to receive a sense of unconditional divine love. And ultimately, this can give you a much healthier body, as well as much healthier relationships.
Now, I know that the crown chakra, I think, is indigo color. So I wonder how the colors got associated with the different chakras.
Well, if you go through the rainbow, then you'd have red at the root. So there's 7 rainbow colors. So you can go red, orange, yellow, green is the heart, blue is the throat, indigo,
rainbow,
and violet. Yeah.
Violet. Okay. Now, sometimes when I'm in my car, I try to visualize white light around it just to protect me while, my husband and I, when we're in the car driving. Does that help to visualize certain lights to protect yourself?
Yes, the main thing is the intention, but if you're good with projecting color, that can be quite good. You can also assist if there are traffic jams to clear traffic in advance of you, or even before you go driving. You can send love and healing to the route you're planning to take, or to the whole area. And you can actually witness sometimes the improvement in the driving pattern, responsive to that. So if working with white light works for you, that's beautiful. I love golden white light myself, so that's often a favorite of mine.
I'm not religious, but I do carry St. Christopher with me, and I feel sometimes he saves. I just feel it's just probably a thought, I feel comfortable. I carry it with when I travel, and and I've had, like I said, well, I didn't tell you, but I spun around on the freeway, and I felt like I was protected. Angels and maybe St. Christopher, I don't know. I don't know. But let's talk about your book again, Aura Advantage. You want to show that? And so what can people learn from your book?
Yes, basically it's sort of a how-to book. All the books I write, I have exercises at the end of each chapter. So I'll go through usually describing scientific studies. This book is no exception. I've got scientific research showing, for example, that when someone walks into a room, if they're in a very bad, dark mood, they'll actually have fewer photons emanating from them. You can actually measure this. It has been measured, versus someone who's been doing what you're talking about, meditating on that white light and feeling vibrant and energetic. You can come into a room with the lights off. I forgot to mention that part. So there's no lights in this dark room. Someone who comes in that dark mood, they actually suck the light out of the room. What little there was, woof, gone. So, I mean, it's kind of funny, but you might know people. It's like, boy, they suck the light out of the room. And that can actually happen. And whereas someone who comes in with the beautiful light flowing from them, like you're talking about, they light up the room. They can be the light of the party. So my book includes studies like that, as well as research about the Kirlian photography we were talking about.
Kirlian photography, yeah.
Yes, as well as spirit photography. I've got exercises where you can take any standard camera and take photos of energy based on doing a meditation, placing the camera next to a chakra. And some people are able to get extraordinary photos that look like they're almost floating above a scene without using a drone, and getting basically a drone level photograph, or seeing orbs and lights in the picture. So this is all part of the energy field that we have, that other beings also have.
Yeah, I have this friend, and she's pretty metaphysical, and she told me she'd go into a room and she'd project a lot of white light. She could see people would feel good, you know. She wanted to make people.
Yes.
So if you have if you're living with somebody that's you know, says God damn it a lot, or you know, puts out the dark energy, can you help? If you love them, can you help them? How can you help them, you know, with that?
Yes. Well, one of the things you can do is help them ground. So I've got some illustrations in the new version of this book, and one of them, there's a picture here of grounding. So you can see the color. I hope that doesn't glare too much.
No, it doesn't.
There we
go.
Great. Yeah. So the illustration is showing that if you're first you want to practice grounding yourself. And that's basically the process of, I like to do super grounding, where I bring in golden white light from down through the crown chakra into every cell in my body. And I do it with breath. I like to do the breath, movement, and imagination. And so as it's coming in, then right about heart center, I start exhaling and just gently, slowly moving my hands down toward my feet. You can do this sitting, standing, lying down. And then just doing a sort of a clearing, I'm doing this so you can see it, but I do this sort of a flicking motion down, sending all the energy, all the thoughts and feelings and energy that I don't need down to the center of the earth, where she can recycle it. And that's a grounding feeling. And if you do this at least 3 times, it's possible to feel a tremendous rejuvenation, totally energized with light and love, just bringing that golden white light in as you inhale, exhaling, clearing it out. So this grounding. So once you've done it for yourself, 10 times is perfect. So if you do that every day, 10 times, now, you're ready for that person. You're thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Here comes that person, the one who sucks the light out of the room, or they're angry, or they're swearing. You can just, you can use a finger motion, and it doesn't need to look like anything. You can do it discreetly, just sort of like that. And so it's practice. So that when you practice working with your energy, you'll be able to help other people ground. And so you're just providing an assistance. So it's a suggestion that they can now release the anger. If they've got excess anger, they're just sending it like lightning bolts.
Right, yeah.
And so you're just going like, okay, we're just going to ground you right now if you wish to receive this. Usually they do.
Can you send love? Will sending person love? Will that help?
Yeah, that can help too. I would definitely start with the grounding for someone who's just shooting lightning bolts before they zap someone or something catches fire.
You know, I had your book, Aura Advantage. I got to find it and know what happened to it. Let's talk a little bit more about that. What else you have in there for people?
Oh, yes. This book is just full of all sorts of good information. I love it because it's got tips on maintaining a healthy body with the energy, sensing your life purpose.
Oh, I like that one. How can you sense your life purpose with auras? Yeah,
well, gets into noticing that. Remember, I said you don't. Maybe I didn't say this so clearly. Now I'll say it clearly. Not only is the aura something you see the colors, because some people don't visualize; they don't see colors, and so they'll be like, "Okay, I can't follow you there because I can't even picture a color with my eyes closed. How am I supposed to see it?"
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be an issue. But if you recognize that your life purpose is part of information that's coming to you through higher levels of conscious agency, so it's coming into your body, you're receiving it. You can get daydreams and visions of it. You can open yourself up with your throat chakra to be able to write about it. So you can ask questions and then write the answer as if you know. automatic writing, kind of answering your own questions. So there are ways to work with the energy field and the chakras to start opening yourself to receiving dreams, inspiration, intuition, synchronicities, and guidance to support you in starting to see, because you're getting assistance from these higher levels of conscious agency that we're all connected to. And that's basically it in a nutshell. There's a lot more. I mean, this book gets into quite a lot. And I keep touching on other aspects of it as well. So, yeah, communicating your feelings and ideas better. That's working, of course, with the throat chakra. Attracting what you most desire. There are lots of ways to do that. Protecting yourself, making good choices, non-locally affecting others, and finding lost things. So this book is way more than just
I
about
like
the
that,
energy
finding
field.
lost things. I'm looking for a watch. How can I do that with my aura? Like finding that book for one thing and my watch for another.
Yeah, well, one thing you can do with energy is just recognize that we're all connected. The aura is just one of those indicators that we have something like a morphogenic field around us, that it is associated with our physical body, with our mind. There are layers to it, there are levels to it. And when you start noticing that you have that, then you can imagine maybe these lost items do too. And so it's possible to communicate energy field to energy field and just basically tune in with love and your love for the item that's missing. So you're making a connection, sort of like it's an energy cord kind of a connection, especially with people that you love. But some of these items are that close to us as well, like keys and wallets, and could be a book too. So if you're feeling that close to it, then you just send out that signal like, okay, I need you back. I love you so much. I'd love to have you returned. No questions asked. And so this is allowing for that possibility that some things can just materialize. And so even though this is a book about auras, as usual, there's quite a bit of reality shifting and quantum jumping in it. Of course there is. Because to me, everything is so interactive. It's not just a simple matter of colors and chakras.
That's interesting. You know, I'm also into crystals, and I have this crystal. Different crystals can do different things. This one says it can find lost objects. So I was looking for some books on essential oils, and I found all three of them. Now I'm asking it for my watch, and I haven't found my watch yet. But I was very abusive with my watch. I just leave it anywhere, so it probably took off. I know I couldn't, I just wouldn't even think I'd just drop it down somewhere, and it would show up in weird places, but now I can't find it. And I've been asking the crystal, but the crystal was not helping me this time.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask, and I think there may be a saint for lost objects as well. But you can also just
Saint Anthony. I've been praying to. I've been asking Saint Anthony help me find this. I think it's Saint Anthony. He does help me sometimes. Yeah.
Good.
I don't know. Anything else about what our energy fields can do for us before we go?
Yeah, quite a bit. Just keep open to the fact that whatever it is you'd like, you can, even if you don't have the book yet or can't find it yet, you can just ask your own guidance, your own higher levels of conscious agency to support you in opening this up, so you can start seeing your own energy field. You can hold. I've got a video on YouTube where people can find me, Cynthia Sue Larson, and there's just a 4-minute video to see your energy field.
Oh, well, I think I saw it briefly. I'll look it up. I'll look it up again. I'll just look up your name. You show up all over the place. It's great. How do you do your schedules? I mean, you're so busy, and I appreciate you doing this show with me because I know you're a very busy person.
Yeah, well, I basically leave it to my higher levels of conscious agency, trusting that everything's happening in the right time.
That's great.
Because if it seems too busy, I would burn out. So I can't let that happen.
No, absolutely not. No, you look great. I mean, I've known you for years. You look the same. What's your secret?
Keep a pure and light heart. Good sense of humor.
Yeah, that's right. Good sense of humor is right. And pure and light heart. I like that. That's great. We're going to end soon. So is there anything you want to end with?
Basically, just keep asking questions you want to live the answers to. And my favorite question, of course, is how good can it get for myself, for everyone, for all concerned?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Cynthia. You've been a wonderful guest, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Pauline.
Thank you. And now it's time for me to thank the audience for watching another edition of Parapsychology Today. And we're always looking for guests and for subjects. So if you would email us at parapsychologytoday24@gmail.com. It'll show up on the credits too. And also, Cynthia is amazing, and we have her information on the credits. So if you want to get in touch with her, just check out the credits. Thank you again for watching another edition of our show. And we want to thank MCM TV too. Thank you. Bye-bye.